Hello.
Welcome. Today is a very big day. We're glad that you have joined us because we are going to reveal the new world for this year.
It's time.
Welcome. It is time. Welcome to Farmcraft. My name is Claire LeBeau. I'm Chief Advancement Officer at NASEF. And we have a large crew here to help you get launched into the new world. So let's do some introductions to start.
Go Me?
Okay. You.
Okay, cool. Hey, everybody. I'm Brian Dickman, founder, CEO of Clever Lake Studios. My friends call me Clevy usually when I'm attacking them or scoring goals on them and stuff like that. But call me Clevy if you want. But yeah, we build these worlds. We've been building Farmcraft. This is our 5th year, and we're excited to share with you today. Eric?
I will take it. All right. So I'm Eric Leitner, go by River online. And I am the education content producer for Clever Lake Studios. And I cannot believe we're about to launch version 5 of Farmcraft. Like, that's just bananas. And yes, pun intended.
Oh, man. To our students, you get bonus points if you can come up with some kind of a food pun while we're talking today. That's always very important. Excellent. All right. And so speaking of students, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, Mr. Edgar, and your crew there?
I'm Mr. Edgar. I teach here at James Madison.
I'm Matthew, and I'm a student at James Madison High School.
My name is Alejandro Castro, and I'm a student from the architecture.
My name is Dario. I'm a sophomore at James Madison High School, and I'm a student in architecture.
I'm David. I'm a freshman at James Madison, and I'm taking robotics.
Excellent. Good to meet you all. So we are here talking about Farmcraft. Maybe before we interview the teacher and the students a bit, should we go ahead and share the video from last time, the submissions? We do have from Would You Believe We Can Grow a Home? So I don't think we've said what the theme is yet. The theme this year is food, shelter, and clothing. So each challenge that we have, both in the preseason and the regular season, we're looking at different aspects of agriculture as it relates to food, shelter, and clothing. So the first challenge that we have is, the video that we have to share is from Would You Believe That You Can Grow a Home? Eric, do you have any introductory notes for this, or should we just go for it?
I do. This is from Team Tractor Titans, and believe it or not, and I assure you this is a coincidence, that submission came from James Madison, who is joining us today. Now, not necessarily the players here, because my understanding is your school has a lot of teams participating in Farmcraft. So this is just one of those submissions. So I'm sure you know who those students are. But let's take a look at their submission.
All right, let's go.
We decided to use bamboo because it is a very commonly grown crop that is used in housing. Bamboo is a very good structural crop because it is known for having a strong strength to weight ratio. Housing frames, arches, and beams can all be made out of bamboo. We demonstrated it by these 3 structures we made out of bamboo. In our next area, we have the crepe myrtle tree. We decided to use the crepe myrtle tree because it is a commonly grown tree in Texas and has multiple uses in buildings. It is mainly used for decorative pieces, and in our area, we have made a swing set out of crepe myrtle, a gazebo out of crepe myrtle, and a couple of benches. It also has a few uses in the structural buildings, mainly furniture in houses, like tables and countertops.
Excellent. All right, I have to say, I know that we're supposed to be excited about the structures they built. Personally, I love a swing in a park, so I like that part too.
I have to agree with you on that.
Agreed. And, it's funny because, I was looking into the future of this season, and that team, based on the information they shared, may get a jump start on one of the challenges based on the research they've done. I'm not going to give too much away, but I just kind of want to throw that out there.
Ah, interesting. So, Mr. Edgar, you have all of these students participating this season. Can you just tell us a little bit why, like, what's your focus? Why are you seeing Farmcraft as a great tool for your classes?
I really enjoy the Farmcraft because I teach a lot of different classes like engineering, robotics, manufacturing, architecture. And so this year has really fed into kind of all those courses because sometimes it's like, well, it's not architecture because we're talking about food and stuff, or it's not, and so this time it's more, you'll put building and things that are used for construction, things like that in there. So we really enjoyed that part of it. It kind of builds into our curriculum. And I just like to have my students enjoy something that's virtual and they can enjoy building and designing out there and get their stuff seen,
Awesome. So how about the students that are here? What do you think about having Minecraft challenges as part of your homework and your assignments?
I kind of like it because like how he said, like it gives us like we could do it ourselves and we do it and like we get to be seen kind of by y'all, I guess.
Our creativity that we use too.
Yeah. Our imagination, like what we really like about construction and architecture.
Do you have anything to say, bro?
Yeah. I think Farmcraft is good because like it teaches like about architecture and structure, and it teaches about different crops, and it's like a very good learning tool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you learn something while you play, so.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's always the question that we get when people first see it and they're not used to using Minecraft for education. Are you sure they're going to learn while they're playing Minecraft? But absolutely, we've demonstrated that time and again. So thanks for sharing your perspective. We have a very exciting moment coming up, and you four are the first students to get to see this, so this is pretty cool. We are now going to reveal the new world for Farmcraft. So I know Eric and Brian and team have been working very hard on getting this up and running. Do we want to just jump right in, or is there any context that you want to share?
I mean, I think we should. You covered the basics that, yes, our new world is going to cover food, clothing, shelter as fundamentals of what they need to do. It's also where the name land demand comes from, because all of these things require land to grow, and we have to make determinations about where we're going to grow these things and for what purpose. So with that in mind, we're going to jump into the world, and we want to get in quick because, believe it or not, and I always want to preface this with this one, I think I mentioned it last time, you're going to want a team this year. There are always a few who are like, I'm going to take on this challenge myself. I have tried it. I was part of the development team involved, and I have tried it. And there is a massive time difference between trying to do this yourself and doing this with a full squad. So fill up your squad. You're going to need them. So hi, everybody. We are officially here in our Farmcraft 2025 Land Demand World.
Woo, here we
Where's
are.
Clevy, though? Clevy's supposed to be joining me. Where you at? Oh, there he is. All right, cool. Thank you.
There we go.
And as you can see, we're going to be prompted right at the top on that action bar. It's telling us how to get our world started, which is just speak with the mayor. The mayor is right up here. If you're ever wondering where to go, you could always look for these little word bubbles right here. They kind of clue you in on who to talk to and what to interact with and things like that. But let's talk to the mayor. And the mayor greets us, welcomes us to the Farmcraft program. You know, we've seen this similarly in previous worlds. It's kind of just the kickoff to get us started and to talk about what the main purpose of the world is. So we're going to...
Oh, Eric, before you click next. Oh, okay.
Nope.
Can you show the immersive reader really quick? It works there.
I can, yeah. You know, so I know we have an international audience. We have international participants. Many of them do an outstanding job with the English that is part of the game, but sometimes, you know, if they're English language learners, there are tools involved. You'll see anytime a dialog box pops up, there's this little button right here. That is the immersive reader. It's a little book with a speaker. And if I click that, not only do I get the dialogue that was there, and I do have some settings on that I could always change, of course, but you can see, of course, I can change the text setting. I can change the grammar. So maybe I don't need those nouns labeled. But most importantly is this last tab on the top right. And that one gives us the option to translate. So for example, And I'll just go with another language that I know many of our players are, because we're translating some of our other documents as well. There are many languages I can translate this into. I'm going to go to, let's go down to some Spanish. And I'll go with, let's go with, there's Latin America, there's Spain, there's Mexico, so different dialects and so on. So we'll go with Mexico. And we're going to translate this by document. So the whole thing, and there we can see we have it fully translated into Spanish. Once you've done that, by the way, you can see I can click between the English and the Spanish at the top, original and Spanish. And there's also a play button back down here where I can actually have it narrate that if I wanted to. I'm not sharing screen audio, so you won't hear it if I hit play, but it will read it out. And you can choose some settings for the voice and things. So there's ways to translate all of the dialogue that's in there.
Excellent. Thank you.
I know how much you love that feature, Claire, so I feel obligated to.
We have so many people
Clevy's
from
creeping
all
up
around
on
the
us
world.
in the background. Like, who's lurking over here? All right. So we're going to go ahead and interact with the computer. And notice what we're looking at is we want to find out our current census data to find out what the population of our town is. The population of our town is going to be our key goal this year, right? And the only way that we can increase the population is by providing what the population needs. Now, we've talked about needs a lot, right? But let's get into the game to figure that out. All right, so you can see the computer over there has got a little particle effect on it, kind of telling us, yeah, come over here, interact with the computer. All right, it's telling us at the top of the screen, interact with the census computer, and we'll interact with the census computer, right? So based on current census data, the population of the town stands at about 10,000. To support more people, you will need to meet certain levels of food, clothing, and shelter. This information is being uploaded to you now. This is my favorite part, actually. This is kind of cool. Right. And then, of course, in order to do that, we have to, of course, get food, clothing, and shelter, enough lumber for housing, cotton for clothing, and so on. So everything has its purpose. So we're going to be growing food crops. We're going to be growing cotton. We're going to be harvesting lumber is going to be the main things that we have to accomplish this year. All right. So we're going to start by heading to the seed supplier to purchase some food seeds. We need some seeds if we're going to grow anything. So here's our seed supplier right here. Don't have to go too far. Right. And yeah, we're going to grab some food seeds from the food supplier. I'm not going to read off every box because I feel like we're going to be here a lot longer if I do that. And you're going to have a chance to read all of this starting today.
And it's good to coordinate as a team, that everyone's not all clicking everywhere. Try to make sure everyone gets a chance to read and understand what they
especially that first time through, right?
Yeah.
Or as you're figuring out the mechanics of the game, that's going to be important. Yeah.
You can play it individually. It's just not great. So
yes. The seed supplier is very nice, though. Very nice, because they're going to give us our first seeds for the food plot for free. And we're starting with what's familiar. The food plot, if you've played Farmcraft before, is going to seem really, really familiar. All of the mechanics that were there for food in the past, we're going to be using those again. Because it's food. We've done it before. Right? So we've got our food seeds. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to travel to the food plots to grow those food seeds. And if we look at our mini map over here, we had a mini map last time. We have a lumber yard. We have a lumber processing plant or lumber mill. We've got cotton fields, and we've got our cotton processing plant, and we've got food fields, and we have our food processing plant. All of these are going to be important.
And I'm exercising.
You're getting your steps in.
Yeah, I want to make sure I'm ready. I'm farming. It's this intense work.
All right, but are you ready to travel to Food Field 1? Because I'm taking you there whether you're ready or not.
Indeed.
Let's go. All right, so we're all going to teleport over to Food Field 1. This is only during the tutorial because it's going to make sure all the players experience what needs to be done. Afterwards, players can kind of go wherever they are needed across all those plots. We're going to speak with our farmer.
It was sequential last year. It's not sequential.
It is less sequential. Let's go with that. Okay. Right. The tutorial is sequential. After that, good luck. Gotcha. All right. So, right, they recognize that we have seeds. We want those planted. Yeah, let's plant those seeds. And here come our farmers to help us plant our seeds. We're going to make sure those are all planted. And I think we're ready to begin our farming season. Right. And of course, here come the butterflies. Oh. This should all look familiar. They are not going away. Let's smack some butterflies. We're also going to get those dandelions, right? Our weeds up there. They're starting already.
Oh boy, yeah.
And of course, we do have access to the sprinkler system. So if we were like, you know what, let's get rid of those. Let's spray some pesticide. We can do that. We got to keep an eye on our water and nutrient levels at the top in case we need to fertilize or water our plot. And you know what's going to show up in a little while, right, Claire? Like, you know what's coming. You know.
After the weeds. Right? So this is a good time for your team to coordinate. What's your process? How does it work? Thankfully, we made it so you can't destroy your own crops with your punching like in the olden days.
Yes,
but you had to be strategic.
Sometimes weeds will just destroy that crop before you have a chance. And here come the caterpillars. Here they come.
Caterpillars. Dun, dun, dun.
Caterpillars.
Everyone is just loves the caterpillars, right? I want to give them a big hug. They're our favorite.
Yeah.
Funny thing is, like, we had discussions about, like, do we change that? And we were like, we can never get rid of the caterpillars. Like, they are stable. They are, like, iconic within Farmcraft. We have to just accept that at some point in every world they're going to exist, and we're going to have to manage them. And, of course, if I wanted to go over here, I could use the sprinkler. Oh, my water level's a little low. Let's do a large water. Why not?
One large water, please.
One large water for you.
So as you said, for students who've done Farmcraft before, and not everyone has played before, but this is very familiar.
Mm-hmm. And you see, you have, I don't know if you guys know how like pesticides work, but they work by basically when the pest eats the crop, then they will die. So if you use pesticide with caterpillars, they will eat the crops and then die, but you'll lose some crops. So just so you know, that's one of the trade-offs.
So we definitely lost a bit. Not bad.
Not too shabby.
Not bad. And this is the reality. We have students who always try to get absolutely perfect. And it can be done, but it's not easy. There's always a high risk of loss. And that is true for real farmers as well. All right, so it's telling us to speak with the farmer. The growing season here is over. We're going to go ahead and speak to the farmer. Of course, now it starts raining, so I didn't have to water before. Where was that before?
Yeah.
Yes, the rain will affect your water levels. It is completely, random as it is in a real Minecraft world. So let's harvest these crops.
Ooh, nice.
Wow, so speedy.
Okay, we've got our crops harvested. I'm going to go ahead and speak to the farmer again. And they're going to send the crops over to the processing plant.
Oh.
Okay. Let's go back and speak to the mayor. And we're going to return to town. And we are back. By the way, there is going to be a shortcut for returning to town. We just don't have it yet. Hint, hint.
Oh.
All right. So the mayor's now letting us know that we need to make sure that, yes, our food went to the food processing plant, but we need to let them know to process it so it can be delivered. So you can see the gears above the food processing plant are not running. The processing plant is currently not doing anything. So we need to go interact with it and say, yes, start processing the things that I've provided in there. And of course, as we do that, right, it's telling us, of course, that we can grow cotton very similarly in the middle plot. And of course, we also have the lumber yard, which is actually going to be part of our tutorial right now. But you can see if those gears are running, that means the food is being processed. And if you look on the right at my scoreboard, my food value there is going up because the processing plant is working.
That's fun.
All right, but let's switch. So growing in the cotton fields works almost exactly the same as this. There is one little distinction, and maybe we'll have time to show it.
Mm-hmm.
It is a fun part. Because the reality is not the same things that affect our food crops affect our textile crops. Cotton is not affected by the same pests, let's say, that food is. So, hint, hint.
Are there more pests in this game?
There might be.
Oh,
there might be a new pest that's
There
much
might be a new
harder to
character.
control. All right, so we're going to head over to the lumber yard for the next part of our tutorial.
Okay.
And we're going to travel there, and we're going to meet our tree farmer here. Notice there's a block down there with an axe under that tree. So we're going to meet our tree farmer, welcoming us to the tree farm. And of course, we're going to need something to harvest those. But notice he says that when we cut down a tree, if we're tree farming properly, we need to replace that tree, right? This is a good ecological practice, but also if you're farming trees take a long time to grow. That is a huge distinction between that and the other things. And if we're not immediately planting, we cannot replace the trees in a timely manner. We can't reuse them, and we're affecting the environment dramatically. All right, so we don't have an axe. He's going to give us an axe. We have an axe. And you don't have to worry about dropping the axe. I cannot drop it. It is locked to my inventory. That's the good news. So you can't be like, where did I put my axe? You'll have it. All right, and if I go over to this block, indicating that I can use my axe here, I can chop at that block until the tree comes down, right? And it's telling me to place a sapling in that area, right? And I want you to notice the farmer will not allow us to cut down another tree until we have planted a new sapling. But I do not have any saplings to plant there, right? It's telling me to replace it. I'm going to go ahead and interact with it. It's going to teach me how to do it. But in the future, I'm going to have to purchase saplings to replace these trees, right? So that is the process of harvesting lumber. Now, there are 4 areas within our lumber field with bigger and bigger trees, which means we're also going to need to upgrade our axe as we start to unlock those areas. Oh, I'm in your head again. Okay. Let's talk to the mayor. Right, so we've learned how to grow crops. We've learned how to harvest lumber, and there's only one thing left to do, and this is pretty cool. Right, he's going to give us an item that's going to make all of this sort of easier to manage, and that is we're going to get a tablet. And this is something new to the Farmcraft. We're going to have a custom user interface within the game. So when we start, you'll see that I have my axe in my inventory, and I have this data tablet. If I pull out the data tablet and I right-click, I have an interactive menu here, right? So I can see what's in my inventory. Right now, I have 1 compost, which is something we earn when we cut down the trees, because all the extra parts we don't need, the sticks, the leaves, all of that becomes something called compost, which we can use to fertilize soil. But I have no saplings. I have no seeds for cotton or for food. I've got nothing, right? So if I close this, let's interact with it again. I can see my harvest menu. It tells me how much unprocessed and processed food, cotton, and lumber I have. The goal, of course, is to process everything to a certain value. And of course, finally, I have this button here, and you saw it in the other one, teleport to hub. If I do, and this is the fun fact you get for watching. If you watch this, you're going to learn a tip. If I'm in any of those areas and I talk to someone to teleport me back, I teleport back to my original spawn. And I have to go all the way across the farming fields or the lumber yard or wherever to get to that teleport spot. But if I use the data tablet, I can teleport from anywhere at any time. And I always teleport close to the mayor back at my mini map. So here's what we need to do. We have no seeds. We need to buy some seeds. So I'm going to go to the seed supplier. Let's buy some cotton seeds. Maybe I'll buy like 3 of those. And maybe we'll buy some food seeds. Okay, got my food seeds. Should we try growing some cotton and see how that's different?
Yeah, let's do it.
Notice now, if I travel, Plebby doesn't come with me. He's on his own. He can choose to come here with me. Or he can go off and do
you know what I'll
else.
do? Like, how about I process that lumber, because we haven't started processing that.
That's a plan. Why don't you go take care of that, and I'll get the farming started over here.
Yeah. So the lumber is processing now.
Awesome, thank you. Now I have a choice that I didn't have before. I can hire labor to plant my seeds, or I can hire machines. This was similar to last time. There is a trade-off, right? The machines might be cheaper, but they have a bigger climate impact. So I'm going to do it just in the interest of time here. They'll be faster. Let's get our cotton seeds planted. Of course, the lumber processing went really fast. It tells me it's finished on the top left there because we were literally processing 1 tree.
I got another one going.
You got another one going. I love it. All right. So I'm going to start this season for cotton. And here we go. And we already have a different kind of pest. A whole different flower pest over here. In fact, this is getting a little hard for one person to run around. Let's get some herbicide going. I'm going to do some small fertilizing and some small watering here too to keep my values just high as I get started here. And you'll see there's a new pest. Look at this moth guy. Now,
the moth guy.
Here's the trick with this, and we'll talk about this a little further in later videos. I'm missing all these moths. That's tragic, and here's why. There is a particular kind of moth that affects cotton, and what it does is it lays its eggs on the cotton. And then when it does so, it lays them in the flower. So when the cotton bulb starts to grow, where the actual cotton, fiber is going to do in the flower, those grow inside the flower. They don't eat it from the outside. They eat it from the inside. So once they're there, and we cannot get rid of them. So it's important to get rid of these moths as quickly as possible, because if they have a chance to lay their eggs, it's already too late. So that's a little different from our butterflies and caterpillars. We're not going to see their babies until it's too late. They will already have done damage, and we won't know it until much later.
Yep. So do you think it's better, you two have divided up, one is in lumber and one is in cotton. If you could be too late, is it better to have everyone in the cotton field all at once, or is it better to divide up?
I don't know.
That's like someone's question. And look, you can start to see that there are some crops here that have been affected. It's already too late. They're infected. Okay. I can't do anything to save them.
Right.
Those moths should have been kept away from the start.
That's pretty cool. I'm actually over at the food crop area, growing another crop of food. So the important thing, one of the things we built into this is the process, right? You have to purchase your seeds, you have to plant your seeds, you have to maintain your garden, you have to harvest them, and you have to process them because they need to get to their destination. Because we're building we're harvesting food, clothing, and shelter. So clothing and shelter needs to be processed, and the end product takes a while to get to. So the work there is one of the cool things in this one. Like, you got to do your processing.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So students, I'm curious. Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you, Eric.
Yeah.
What do you think you would do? Would you try to max it out in one type of crop, or would you spread out if you're playing with a team? What would your strategy be?
Yeah. What's the strat?
Definitely like spread out. I think so. I think spread out.
Like if it was a team, say I had 6 people, right? Or if there's like 3 crops, I spread 2 on each crop. So then they could all have like 2 people working to like stop the pest, use pesticides.
Yeah.
What's our max team size, Claire?
Is it 4 still?
It is still 4.
Okay,
So you're going to have to strategize a little bit more. By the way, I see that Brian is buying all these saplings. I'm seeing that on my left-hand side there in my chat menu. So I know what he's up to, right? I can always see what he's up to over there, just if I keep an eye on that chat. So I'm going to harvest this cotton. That's our first cotton harvest.
Mm-hmm.
Now, nice. This is a strat, right? I could head back and process that, but maybe I want to make sure that I plant some and get it started before I head back there. Of course, that means I won't be here to monitor the moths.
I'll be able to do that for you. I can start the processing.
All right, I'll run back. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use my data tablet to teleport much faster. There we go. I can see, yep, this is our cotton farm, and now that's processing those goods.
All the gears are moving. You got to keep those gears moving, okay, everybody? That's the one tip that you're going to get. Noticing, you got to process. Can't wait to process.
I'm noticing an alert over here on this food field. Let's see what it is. I'm going to travel over there, and the alert is nothing's happening here. Like, get this going. All right, so let's do some labor for this one. Let's get some crops going. I can already see the soil is super dry. So before I even start my season, to make my life easier, let's do a large water. Our nutrients are low too. Let's do a large fertilizer. We can also bring that fertilizer to max. It'll have an impact by talking to our farmer, who will send in some things, right? We can buy drones, by the way, hint, to get rid of pests.
I like the drones, yeah.
Yeah, so if you're like, how do I get rid of some of these things? Then we can still order our drones, and we can still do a max fertilize if we wanted to with some automation. So some of the things we've learned in previous seasons are still here.
Yeah, I really like how this reflects what happens in agriculture today. These massive farms, there's no way that they're going out and manually planting and harvesting in the large farms. So having the access to all of this technology is fantastic. You still have to be smart about it, right? We've seen there are greater impacts on the environment. It's going to cost you more. So you have to balance how much money do you have and making sure that you don't completely deplete the fields while you're growing one massive crop. But I really like all the decisions that are built into this.
Yeah, something to notice here, by the way, right? Like I went to place a sapling. I don't have any saplings to get an alert. So where do I get saplings from? Right? I didn't buy them from the seed seller. Right? I can buy them right here from the tree farmer. So I can, let's say, buy a couple saplings. Maybe I'll get 3. And now I can interact with this and say, yeah, let's put one there. I can cut down this one. Let's put one there. And cut down this one. And put one here. Now I can cut down this one, but can I place another sapling? Do I have enough? No. So I would need to go buy more to do that.
All right.
Now there are multiple levels of, and we're going to let you explore some of this, but we'll just say a little bit. There are multiple tiers of population, and every time you unlock the next level of population, new things unlock, like axe upgrades, the next stage of the lumber farm, more plots to grow things in for your crops and your cotton. So all of those things unlock as you upgrade, increase your population. And of course, I could always look at my data table and say, like, is everything, what do I still have here? I still have a couple seeds I can plant. I can look at my harvest menu and say, like, oh, I got a lot of unprocessed food. I got to make sure I get over to the hub and get that food processing going.
When you see gears, that means there's things to process. If they're not moving, that means they're not being processed. So that there's a visual cue there.
I might have read that wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's all processed food, no unprocessed food. We have a lot of unprocessed lumber, though. Is it working?
Lumber takes a while. I did start it, yes.
Yeah.
So the lumber you really want to pay attention to. But yeah, let's see what I left the cotton kind of ready to harvest, and I also haven't done any maintaining of the food crop, so we could go see what that looks like if you want.
Yeah, go for it. There should be. It looks like there's a food crop ready to harvest and a cotton crop ready to harvest.
Yeah,
and by the way, you see the alert, and you can see the icon has all of a sudden this sprout at the top, like the meter filled up to the sprout. That tells me that field is ready for harvest.
I'm curious if you hop into the food crop, if so you can see what it looks like when you don't maintain it.
Yeah. Oh, it did not do very well. We just let it do its thing on its own. It did not do
nature
great.
Take its course. Yes.
Yeah. And again, you can see we have a long way to go. We haven't even gotten to stage 2 of our population. Our population has gone up. It is climbing, but slowly. And there's much faster ways. Also, the water level here is 0.
So listen, when your water and your nutrient levels go down, it extends the length of your season. So time moves slower for your crops. So the purpose there is that it keeps you at risk longer, and it also slows you down, right? So keeping your nutrients and your water level up to a certain peak allows you to move along faster, right? So that's one of the game mechanics that you'll need to figure out in the game, is to figure out how to keep those levels at the right space so you can move along quickly.
I do like that I'm smacking these butterflies with like an iPad. Like
Technology.
There's so much to balance here. I cannot imagine trying to do this successfully without a team.
Yeah,
I'm getting a little bit nervous, and I'm watching the
be
developers.
prepared to spend an hour on your own if that's the case.
Yeah, and think of a plan. That's the great thing, and experiment with those plans.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell last year the difference between the top scores was very narrow margin, and they really dove into the details to figure out how to optimize, which is really cool.
Yeah, so you can see here we've lost some crops entirely to the moths and the weeds, and then we've lost some to the larvae that the moths had laid inside of our cotton flower.
The boll.
The boll.
Oh.
The boll weevil. Yeah. I think I feel like that's a pretty
I don't wanna
good,
go too
that's a
far,
pretty good
right? Like, I
overview
wanna-
of what you got to do, and you got to keep leveling up, get the processing going, and things start to click along faster once you hit your milestones, right? So you always have your milestones set, so you know where to get to. Where is that in the harvest? Or no, you get that from the
your milestones.
from the computer.
So if we look, right,
Yeah,
so
get
if
it
we
from
look
the
at
computer.
the our scoreboard on the right, we can see our population currently is sitting at 17,500. We started at 10, so our population is growing. But this tells us what we need to get to the next level, right? Which means we need a population of 20,000, and to do that, we need 500 units of food, 500 units of clothing, and 4,000 units of lumber, and that is processed. Right. So again, if I go to my data tablet and I go to my harvest menu, I can see that I've got enough food to level up. I don't have enough lumber and I don't have enough cotton yet.
Right. So it's a good idea to check your numbers, make sure you're hitting the levels that you need without overdoing and overproducing and having things go to waste. So think about how to level up based on the requirements in the census computer.
Awesome.
I think that's enough for now.
Wow.
They're gonna have to explore.
There's
so.
some exploration to be
Who's
done.
up for the challenge?
I will
Are you
also
up for the challenge?
add, you cannot hurt each other with the axe. I just want to point that.
Oh,
How's the James Madison crew? Are we looking forward to this challenge?
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
awesome. All right. Well, we do have different challenges throughout the season. So our first challenge, and I know a lot of you were architecture students, and so you're itching to get to that lumber challenge. But the first one we're going to start with is going to be around focusing on food. So of course, you got to eat if you're able to build something, right? So that's where we're starting, is with the focus on food. So Eric, do you want to share screen with us, and let's
I
take
can
a
do
look
that.
at where do we find all of these things? Reminder, we're at nasef.org/farmcraft, and everything is there for you in one spot.
There it is. All right. So again, by the way, I want to point out the first thing you're going to see when you go to nasef.org/farmcraft is the ability to register in the team guide, because no, it is not too late yet. Yes, you may have missed those preseason challenges, but it's not too late to go back, do them, and make sure you have them entered before the deadline. Second, and this is important, is there will eventually be a cutoff, but it's not here yet. During the introduction phase of our regular season, which is now underway, we're about to do our first challenge. You can still register and get involved.
Right.
And of course, here are your buttons to do that. But here we can see regular season challenge number 1, which is focus on food. So we want to start with where you are, especially if you've already participated in Farmcraft before. That might give you a leg up. In previous years, Farmcraft has always been focused on food and the many challenging decisions farmers must make in order to provide nutritious food or produce to communities. We want you to take the same approach. Focus as much energy on food. Put all of your efforts into growing food. And what do you notice? What happens to the population if you focus only on food? And are you even able to complete the game if food is your only focus? Why or why not? And how does this reflect real-world use of land for farming? And of course, just below that is a submit challenge button. And this is where you'll go. You're going to do the same thing, except to record your gameplay, record your outcomes, record what you're doing in the official world, and talk about like why that strategy is working, why it's not working, and why. Below is where you can actually download this year's world. It is live. You're going to see 2 things. The first is a guide how to download, and of course, if you're not familiar with Farmcraft and you've never done it, or maybe you're not played a lot of Minecraft Education, you're like, okay, I've got this file. What do I do with it? This is going to walk you through where to get the file, and you'll see that link right here. How to import that file. So what do I do to make sure that I can open that, and then how to run it, right? So of course, going into the My Worlds, you should see Farmcraft 2025, and you're going to play that world. And then of course, you're going to open that up for hosting and invite your team in to join you. So all of those steps are right here to get your game started. The good news is when we first joined the world, the timer hadn't started yet. The timer doesn't start until you have finished the tutorial. So you do not have to worry about quick, join. We don't have a lot of time. No. You can get everyone in, work through the tutorial, and then the timer begins.
Excellent.
Okay. There's also a direct download button right here to the world, and it is a direct download, which means if I click download, right, it's just going to open a new window. I'll see it's loading up here, and eventually it will just prompt me to download that and tell me ask me what folder I wanted it and things like that. If your browser is set up to just throw everything right into the downloads folder, that's where it's going to be. And that should do it.
Excellent. All right. Well, one of the things that we always love about Farmcraft, of course, is prizes. So students, you're going to have an opportunity, if you do a great job here, to win some prizes. So let's talk about those. This is always one of my favorite things, to be honest. First place in each division, we have a first place prize valued at $250. Second place is $200, and third place is $100. And then we started doing this recently. We really understand that, sometimes if you've played before or you're a little bit older, a little bit more experienced with Minecraft, you might have a little bit of an advantage. So we also do random draw where everyone who submits will be eligible to win a $50 prize. So whether you're fantastic or you're brand new, we really want everyone to be motivated. Give it a shot. Let's see what you can come up with. So students, this is a little bit different than what you did before where you were building your own, and now you're going to be playing in the world and trying to accomplish specific goals. Do you have any thoughts about how you might approach that differently?
I don't really know. Maybe just like make a plan when we see it,
Yeah.
I like that. Yep. That tutorial is definitely going to be helpful there. It's great that you guys have built that in. Yeah.
The beauty of it is not only is it a tutorial, but any crops that you earn or lumber that you cut down during that tutorial phase does count towards your score. So you're getting that without the timer running yet.
Mm-hmm.
Hint, hint.
Yeah. Yep.
That is a good hint.
And there's 4 plots that open over time as your population increases. Your food and your cotton plots. You only start with 1, but they start to unlock, so you can get to 4 total plots, which is, can you imagine managing 4?
Yeah, but that means if you do things
Look at
right,
that evil grin on your face, Brian. That's hilarious. Like,
but I'm saying if you do it right, you might start that first season and go, wow, it's like, it's getting slow to get to that first level, but then you're going to unlock new plots. And it's going to get faster, and it's going to get faster, and it's going to get faster, which is good news for your score, but is bad news for having to manage the chaos that is ensuing as you unlock more and more area to grow things.
Don't forget to process your
Don't forget to process, and don't forget to buy seeds. I cannot tell you how many times, even if I ran into that, I'm like, I'm going to go plant these seeds. I don't have any seeds.
Will
I got to go back and buy seeds.
To buy seeds, and you will designate a seed purchaser person. And that will, I guarantee that will happen.
The beauty of the seeds is if anyone on the team purchases them, they are in the inventory for the whole team. So you don't have to have them in your inventory to go use them. As long as your team has them on the data tablet, everyone can use them.
Oh, that's great. All right. Well, we're taking notes, all these little tips and tricks. Good to have. So we have another stream coming up. It's going to be on November 5th. Where we will be talking about challenge number 2. So mark your calendars. All of this is always available at nasef.org/farmcraft. And so I think that we are off and running. We are ready to, I almost said plant. Step 1 is going to be buy seeds. Look at that. I already missed my tip from 30 seconds ago. Buy seeds, plant, harvest, all the things. This looks like a fantastic world. So thank you for getting us all involved. And Mr. Edgar, thank you so much for joining us and all the students. Yeah, great to have you. And we can't wait to see your submissions.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Thanks.
Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks for tuning in.
The buzzer. Just in
time for the bell.
Nice.
All right. Thank you.
That's it.
If